hello, beautiful business-minded people. Welcome po sa ating another episode ng ating Meet My Friend series. So, ano ba yung mga dialogue natin, no? Sinasabi natin na gusto ko sanang magbakasyon pero hindi ako makaalis kasi baka walang mangyari sa negosyo pag wala ako. May team na ako, sinasabi ba natin yan? At pag hindi ako nandoon, parang lahat ay naghihintay sa akin. Tapos meron pa mga nakikipag-usap sa akin at sinasabi nila, sabi ko sa sarili ko, papalakihin ko ang negosyo, pero papaano mamiin kung ako pa rin ang gumagawa ng lahat? Yan. Sa lahat ng mga tanong na yon, no, ano ang pakiramdam mo? Ano yung nararamdaman mo, business owner? Nagtatayo tayo ng negosyo pero kung minsan nagiging alipin tayo sa sarili nating negosyo. Hindi tayo makaalis, hindi tayo makapagpahinga at kahit na pagod na tayo, patuloy pa rin tayong nagtatrabaho. Yan, dahil wala namang gagawan, di ba? Kundi tayo lang. Kaya what if I told you na pwedeng tumakbo ang ating negosyo kahit na hindi tayo laging nandoon? No? Kaya let's discover today together the secrets to running a business that does not depend on you alone. Yan, no? So, meron tayong isang special guest na who will show us exactly how to make that happen. Step by step, in a way that actually works for small business owners like us. Ha? Kaya stay with us, anak, until the end dahil meron tayong something very special para sa inyo today that I don't want you to miss. Kayang naman kung maaga tayong aalis, di ba? Okay, so before anything else, gusto ko lang balikan yung last episode natin with Miss Kim Lato. I don't know if you remember it. Kung hindi nyo napanood, si Miss Kim Lato last week, nag-share siya ng mga powerful insights tungkol sa customer loyalty and trust. And meron akong nabasang takeaway from one of our participants last time na talagang tumatak sa akin. No? It came from Miss Grace Calleja at sabi niya, set standards, not expectations. No, napaka-practical, di ba? Kasi it reminds us na sa business at sa buhay, mas mahalaga ang malinaw na standards kaysa puro expectations lang. And speaking of showing up with the right standards, we are here today because we also want to hear where you are in your business journey. Sa mga first-timers, no? Yung mga nag-type ng 1, welcome dahil I'm so happy that you are here. I'll just give a short intro, no? Sino ba si Mami N? Si Mami N ay isang business owner for more than 40 years. Marami po akong naumpisang negosyo, no? One of them is Chowking. I was a Chowking franchisee for 18 years, STI College licensee for 28 years, plus marami pang mga ibang businesses na hindi ko na ibabanggit dito. Now, I'm a mentor. Dahil retired na ako, tumutulong na lang ako sa mga business owners like you to grow easier and faster. At dahil doon, marami po akong mga videos and posts na ginagawa araw-araw para sa inyo for free, no? It's all on social media. Kahit nasaan pumunta kayong social media, halos nandoon yung aking mga video. So every Tuesday naman, dito, marami kaming educational topics na makakatulong sa inyong business. Kaya to keep you updated, sign up ka na dito, anak, if this is your first time. Sign up ka sa maminegosyo.com. The link is already in the chat so that when we will have guests or may mga ganap kami, we will be able to email you. Yan. So that's maminegosyo.com. Super excited ako sa guest natin today, anak, no? Alam mo, maraming business owners ang napakasipag, maagang gumigising, tapos sila yung gabi na o kuminsan madaling araw nang natutulog. Gusto nilang gawin lahat ng tama, no? Just like me also. Pero at the end of the day, sila pa rin ang bottleneck ng sarili nilang negosyo. Again, just like me, no? Hindi sila makaalis, hindi sila makapagpahinga at lahat ng desisyon dumadaan pa rin sa kanila. Kaya nung na-discover ko, na-meet ko itong magandang lady na to, no? When I discovered kung ano yung ginagawa niya, sabi ko, ito ang kailangan ng ating mga viewers. Kami rin kailangan namin ito. Kaya hindi ko na patatagalin, anak. Let's welcome my inspiring new young pretty friend na si Miss Daisy Vertudazo. Yan. Andyan na ba
Hello
siya?
everyone! Yes, hello Mommy Ann. Good afternoon. Hello po sa nanonood. Thank you for inviting me. I'm truly honored and grateful.
Yeah, thank you so much no sa aming honor. Amin ang honor. The honor is all ours. Ang hirap naman Tagalogin pala noon, ano? So, Daisy, before we dive into today's topic and secrets, is it okay that you share with our viewers a bit about yourself, no? Sino ba si Daisy Vertudaso? Narinig ko na meron siyang 6 na anak. Alam niyo ba yan? Siya yung na-meet ko na napakabata pero 6 na yung anak. So, sige, kwentuhan mo kami. What do you do? Why do you care so much? And why do you want to really help mga business owners like us para na hindi na maging stuck at hindi na namin kailangan gawin yung lahat ng mag-isa?
Yes, definitely. Thank you po. And yes, again, thank you everyone for joining us and choosing to spend your time with us. We're truly appreciative of that. I'm Daisy Vertudaso. People in my community just call me Days, and I would say I am someone who you would consider as ano tawag nila doon, multi-passionate, multi-hyphenate. So marami akong gusto sa buhay. I grew up with with my aunts na mga educators po kasi teachers. So I graduated college na as a teacher, but then around that time I also had a growing family, and aminin man natin o hindi, medyo talagang hindi enough yung kita ng isang guro sa Pilipinas. So I had to be practical. So talagang naghanap po talaga ako ng skill ko hanggang sa one day, I saw a video about homeschooling. So nasa corporate pa ako nito. And I just saw a vision so clearly na parang, okay, so I'm an only child po. When I saw that homeschooling video, I really said to myself na this is how I want to educate my children. But then corporate ako, so paano? Diba? Parang homeschooling sa bahay, yung nanay yung nagtuturo. So I made the decision right then and there na I will homeschool my kids, and not making that a reality is not an option. And that led me to freelancing. And I would say every pivotal moment in my life has been led by that core value of mine, which is being joyful with how I live my life because I live it with intention. And siguro naswerte na lang po ako na when I landed into freelancing, medyo aligned yung mga naging parang trajectory ng skills ko. So, una outbound rep kasi parang teacher, naging call center. Tapos, ano pinakamadali na transition from call center? The ESL instructor. And then nag-outbound. Kaso na-realize ko, kaya ako malis ng call center kasi ayoko na mag-calls. Ba't ako nagko-call sa bahay? So, doon ko natutunan yung VA. So, in 2012, I became a VA or virtual assistant. And I did that for about 4 or 5 years until I realized na medyo tali na yata yung oras ko. Nag-homeschool ako, yes, I'm living the life I want, pero parang dahil night shift ako, dahil round the clock yung time zones ng client ko, parang I'm becoming a snappy mom. So, hindi na siya aligned dun sa na-envision ko na slow, intentional learning with my kids. And I'm always very self-aware like that, na pag may nararamdaman akong misalignment, may ngit-ngit, like parang alam mo naman yung ginagawa mo, alam mong kaya mong gawing maayos, magaling ka naman, pero bakit parang may ngit-ngit, may misalignment? So I really take a moment to pause. And then dun ko naman natutunan around 2017, a skill that allowed me to, still earn my income or more, but hindi ako tali sa time. So dun po ako naging OBM, or Online Business Manager. So that was 2017, and I worked with local and international clients. They invested in my own education as well hanggang sa I became a fractional COO in 2019, and from there the rest is history po. So right now I'm an owner of 2 businesses. I have a lean agency where we help local and international clients scale their operations. Mostly ang focus namin mga owner dependent businesses. So we really fix and help them build their structures, people systems para makascale sila and also step back. And then at the same time, we also have an education leg wherein we create Powerhouse OBM, which is the pioneer OBM program in the Philippines, and we help educate and empower the next generation of OBM in the Philippines. And this is close to my heart because as a homeschooling mom, na maraming gusto sa buhay, talagang minsan it gets overwhelming. Pero dahil gusto ko itong ginagawa ko, I just knew na I need to make this work, and systems talaga and structure has helped me a lot to be able to do what I do. That's why this is also very personal for me, and that's why I'm sharing it with my students and also with the clients that I help. Outside of work, that's what I do. I'm a homeschooling mom and a proud BTS Army. Sinare ko nga kay Mami yan kanina na parang yan ang goal natin this year, maka-attend ng concert ng BTS, and I'm just really happy to be here. Thank you.
Okay, sa mga nanonood at mga BTS fans din, pwede bang pakita na BTS sa comment? Yan. Alam natin na hindi siya nag-iisa.
Yes, please.
Pero baka hindi na bagay sa akin maging BTS fans. Ano sa palagay nyo?
Pwede pa, Mami N.
Yeah, so akala ko yung mga BTS na yan, mga ano lang yan eh. Yeah, ginagawa ng walang magawa. Akala ko dati pang bata lang. No, but then later on when as I was sharing with you na marami pala akong mga respected people na BTS fans because BTS is not just about a boy band na talagang sinusundan, kundi it's about some principles, some philosophies of life that they really live na yung tinuturo nila at talagang paano bang ang they really live sa Tagalog? Basta, talagang binubuhay niya. Yan, they really live the life of whatever they are preaching. Yan, okay. So, business, no? Thank you for sharing that, Miss Days, no? So, business talaga is really what can help us, no? Ang mahirap yung employment kasi kung yung employment talagang fixed talaga yung time mo, kailangan nandoon ka at wala kang pwedeng ibang gawin. Let's start with the first secret, no? Ang sikreto, kapag ang owners finally decide to delegate, tulad nung ginawa mo, no? Syempre, hindi mo mapalalaki yung dalawang negosyo kung hindi ka nag-delegate. Pero alam kong marami ka nang na-mentor na mga business owners. Ano yung biggest mistake na or biggest pagkakamali nila kapag nagde-delegate sila? At bakit mali? Bakit yun mali?
What I've observed so far in my personal experience, Mommy N, no, is that I would say yung biggest mistake na nakikita ko, probably because they're unaware, is that when business owners have, let's say, team members na and they have tasks na kailangan nila i-delegate, the biggest mistake I see is that they delegate tasks, not outcomes. So what I mean by that is, halimbawa, may utusan tayo na sasabihin nila, ikaw gawin mo na to. Ito, yung parang ginawa natin last week. Or tarangin mo sa ganito. So parang alam naman yung team member yung gagawin nila. But then, that team member does not really know exactly what the outcome is expected of him or her. Ano ba yung exact output na ine-expect sa kanila? Ano ba yung standard of what a good quality output looks like? Or pag may mga decision points na kailangan nilang pagdesisyonan, sila na ba magde-decide or i-escalate pa ba yan? And like, even as simple as deadlines, sometimes nililimutan. And when that happens, ang nangyayari, yes, things get done. So the team member will do the work, gagawin naman nila. But then ang ending, the business owner becomes frustrated kasi ang isip nila, ang layo naman ito sa expected outcome ko. Or sasabihin nila, sana ako na lang pala gumawa, ulitin ko rin naman. Para saan pa may team member ako? And if we really look into that that frustration happens not because the team member cannot do it. It's just that yung issue kasi is yung handover, medyo incomplete, medyo kulang. So kumbaga, bigyan natin yung gagawin pero hindi natin sinet up for success yung team member kasi hindi natin binigyan ng clear instruction in terms of ano ba talaga yung outcome na gusto natin, ano ba yung standard of the quality that we need, paano yung process when it comes to escalation or decisions, and paano yung reviewing ng progress. So, kumbaga, bungi-bungi, kulang-kulang, and then we expect them to do the same thing or the same output at the quality na we want when we didn't really explicitly say that to begin with. So, parang unfair din sa team member, no? So, parang what I want people to realize, especially business owners, is that when we delegate, it's not really just about dumping work to someone. Parang delegation, I would want you to see it as the transfer of ownership with enough clarity for that person to succeed. So once na-shift natin yan, I would say things will improve. Hindi man overnight, pero slowly. Kasi the team member also feels supported and empowered. And then, syempre sa simula, hindi ka agad makukuha. Pero if you're there to set the right, guidelines, clarity in place, and then may feedback loop pa na nabibigyan mo agad ng feedback, then soon enough, magagawa nila ng tama at the way you want it at mahigit nila expectations mo. And then, you won't hear yourself saying, ay, sana pala ako na lang gumawa. Yun po. Medyo mahaba, pero I hope medyo nag-land and clear sa ating viewers.
Right. Actually, yung sinabi mo, isang course na yon. That's a real course. One course na on delegation. So, ang napulot ko doon, anak, ewan ko kung napulot mo ha. Basta ang napulot ko doon sa sinabi, do not just delegate tasks. No, yun yung number one na mistake ng mga tao kaya hindi nagsasucceed yung delegation nila and therefore hindi nagsasucceed yung business nila kasi wala silang mga tao na magagaling na para tumulong sa kanila kasi nagde-delegate sila ng task. Dapat daw i-delegate ang outcome. Ano ba talaga ang gusto mo pag ginawa nila yung task na yon? So dapat merong naka-delegate na outcome. Tapos, anong klaseng outcome? Ano yung standard? Ano yung masasabi mo na okay? At ano yung hindi okay. Tapos sabi pa nga is okay, yung decision making, no? Yung decision making, ano ba yung mga decision na pwede nilang gawin at ano yung decision na hindi nila pwedeng gawin na kailangan nilang i-escalate. So yun yung nakita ko at hindi ko na maintindihan yung na sinulat ko dito, pero I'm sure that is already part of the secret, no? Parang kulang, no? Outcome, decision, task, ano pa yung isa? Quality of the standard, quality standards, yan. Bago ako matutong mag-delegate, siguro mga 10 years, puro mali yung delegation ko until finally I realized na, nga pala, hindi dapat task. Dapat yung outcome at ano yung tama. Kailangan pala may feedback yung ating tao, yung kung sino yung taong tinuturuan natin, na-delegatean natin, hindi lang natin basta itatapon. Okay? Dami na akong sinabi. Number 2, secret number 2 naman kay Miss Days, no? Ano ang number 1 na pinakamalaking mindset shift na kailangan ng isang owner para makapag-let go sila at makapag-trust sila sa ibang tao na kaya nilang i-run yung kanilang business or gawin yung mga trabaho for them?
I love that question, Mommy. And again, just translating it with my own personal experience, I would say one mindset shift that you need to let go of is that you need to stop being the smartest person in the room or at least stop needing to be, diba? Kasi a lot of business owners hold, kasi baby nyo yan, diba? Baby natin to. So talagang naintindihan naman natin why we value it so much. But then a lot of owners hold on to tasks, to things that are being done in the business at hindi maka-let go at delegate. Not really because they don't trust their people. Kasi hinire nila yan. So qualified yan, may skill yan, kaya naman gawin. It's not really about them not trusting their people. And aminin nyo guys, so mag-internal tayo audit. If you would reflect on your own journey, I would say may challenge tayo sa pag-delegate and let go because secretly, we believe na only us can do it well. So, kaya hindi tayo maka-let go agad. And maybe that's true sa simula. Kasi nga, baka hindi pa na-train yung tao, wala pang enough experience, nagsisimula pa lang, hindi pa na-guide. But then, if you do not know when to stop holding on to that belief, yan at yan din yung magiging reason bakit makakap yung income and growth nyo. Kasi nga, taking control of everything does not really always equate to protecting quality. Diba? Ang nangyayari pa nga dyan is you're creating dependency. So lahat tuloy lalo nakadepend sa inyo. So lalo kang di makaka-scale. So the shift that I want you guys to move towards is that tanggalin nyo na yung sarili nyo dun sa, okay, ako lang makakagawa nito ng tama. Only I can do this well, so I must control everything. Try to let go of that and shift that into, okay, I need to now start creating systems and structures in my business to protect the quality and the standards so that things get done even without me. So, pag na-shift nyo na yun, things again, so, sangay-sangay na yan. You get to trust your people more because you're seeing the work output is actually consistent and improving. Plus, if you really want to scale, hindi pwede kasing kung ano yung ginagawa natin simula, dun pa rin tayo eh. Diba? Parang what got you here won't get you there. So, kailangan talaga natin i-let go. And we can only let go confidently if we have the right systems and structures in place and training for these people. Para when you go to the next level, preparing about other ways that you could scale your business, hindi ka kakaba, and you actually feel more confident about your people. And in turn, yung tao nyo rin, mas mamahalin nila yung trabaho nila, yung negosyo nyo kasi nakikita nila, may tiwala sa akin si ma'am, si sir. So reciprocity din, mommy yan. So ayun, so I hope that lands guys for everyone. Kasi ako na-experience yan, so very true siya for me din.
Yes, thank you so much. No, so sa mga nanonood, no, what I want you to know is every Tuesday, if you tune into ito yung ating Tuesday shows. Meet My Friend, Meet My Mentors, kung sino-sino yung mga nagiging guest natin. Ang goal talaga natin every Tuesday is to share experience. Yung mga na-share ni Miss Daisy, wala po sa libro yan. Promise, wala kayong makikitang libro na merong ganyang pagtuturo. At yung mga lessons na yan, tulad ng pinagdaanan namin, it came from what we experienced. We had to learn through trial and error. Ang dami naming pagkakamali. Tapos from there, natuto kami kung paano mag-delegate ng tama. Sabi nga, number 1, do not delegate just tasks. Also delegate the outcome, yung standards, yung quality standards, tapos yung mga decision-making, parameters, and so on. And of course, tututukan natin sila, no? Evaluating if they were able to get it. Number 2, secret number 2 daw, wag isipin, i-let go na natin, no? I-release na natin yung sa isipan natin na tayo yung pinakamatalino sa negosyo natin. Totoo, tayo yung pinakamatalino nung nag-uumpisa tayo. Kasi tayo lang nakaisip ng negosyo na yun no? Tapos nag-hire tayo ng mga tao. Hindi nila kayang isipin yung inisip natin. Kasi kung kaya nilang isipin yung inisip natin, sila na yung nauna, di ba? But then, sabi nga ni Miss Days, set, no? Hindi pwedeng tayo parate. Kasi kung tayong gagawa ng lahat ng bagay, para tayong yung nasa bangka, tayo yung nagsasagwan, hindi natin alam kung saan pupunta yung bangka natin. Hanggang yan, magiging Titanic na lang tayo. Mababangga na lang natin yung iceberg at parang wala namang iceberg na bangka sa iceberg area, no? But you know what I mean. No? So we need to be looking at where the business is going. And therefore, dahil doon, kailangan may mga tao tayong tutulong para mas mabilis tumakbo yung negosyo natin. And the way to do that is to delegate correctly. But before you do that, tanggalin yung sa isipan na tayo pinakamagaling. So, hindi tayo dapat yung pinakamagaling. Actually, dapat mas magaling sila. No? Halimbawa, pag marunong akong mag-Canva, gagawa ako ng Canva presentation. Pero yung tao ko mas magaling gumawa ng Canva presentation dahil hindi ko expertise yan. So, just like you in your business, yung mga tao mo dapat mas magaling kesa sa iyo. Pero sa umpisa, gagawan mo sila ng systems and processes para masundan nila, para makahabol sila sa iyo. And the moment you teach them, you train them, and they can learn, yan. Yung sabi nga ni Miss Daisy na reciprocity, na magiging grateful yung mga tao dahil tinuruan mo sila at gusto nilang mas matuto pa. Right? Kaya let go na natin i-release na natin yung mga mindset na nako, ako lang ang magaling. Okay, secret number 3. Nako, malapit na yung oras natin. Miss Daisy, ano naman ang mga basic systems? No, pinag-usapan natin ng systems and structure. Pero ano yung mga basic systems na kailangang i-set up ng isang small business owner para tatakbo yung kanyang negosyo smoothly kahit na wala sila doon at nagbabakasyon sila sa Hong Kong?
Yes, gusto ko yun. With systems talaga, and a lot of people come to me for this. And I know with the age of AI and automation tools, talagang it can get overwhelming. So for small businesses, I really like to keep this practical and simple wins all the time. So let's start simple. Hindi nyo pa kailangan, guys, ng something complicated, because complicated system that nobody knows how to use will never be used. So, simplihan natin. May 3 lang akong ibibigay. Share ko muna sila and then I'll get into each in a bit. Number 1, you need a work management system. Second, you need a communications management system. And then third, you need a documentation or SOP system. So, dito lang, 3 simple. Hindi mo kailangan ng any fancy tool out there. A good Google Doc or maybe some Google Sheets or a simple basic platform online will do. So, unahin ko yung work management system. When I say work management system, it's a tool that really captures the tasks, who is accountable for those tasks, what is the deadline, details of the tasks, ano yung mga handover in between, and the tools that are most popular right now that you could try that are free to start with. My favorite is ClickUp. So punta lang kayong clickup.com. Yan, you can play around with it. Some clients, actually even international ones, happy na sila sa Google Sheet. Ako yung hindi. Kasi walang automation, walang kahit automatic reminders man lang. Pero again, whatever works. Kasi a system that may work for me may not necessarily work for mommy and her team. So kailangan din i-ground nyo, guys, sa how does the business owner and the team actually work and how does their brain thinks. Kasi factor din yon kung bakit minsan nagagamit at hindi nagagamit yung mga systems. So again, number 1, work management. Paano nyo ba i-manage, i-monitor, i-control yung output, yung quality at deadline ng mga tasks? That's 1. Second, communication system. At syempre, lalo't kung digital yung team nyo, di ba? Lagi tayo nag-uusap. But then, I find it, what's the term? I find it amazing and amusing at the same time na communication platforms, merong isang team to yung ibang usap nila nasa email, yung iba nasa Google Chat, meron din silang Slack, may Discord, may Viber, may WhatsApp, may Facebook Messenger. So imagine, kung lumalaki na kayo, iba-iba yung kung saan kayo nag-uusap, things are bound to fall through the cracks pag ganun. So ang unang-unang project ko talaga, pag nakikita kong ganyan yung communication system ng isang business, I consolidate and streamline. Kasi hindi lang siya mahirap sa tao, sa team members, kasi paano nila i-connect? Mahirap din siya sa as business owner. Kasi parang feeling mo you're spread too thin. Hindi mo lang kang ginagawa, hinahanap mo lang kung nasan yung usapan. So let's streamline that by choosing one simple platform. Pinaka-popular with businesses is Slack. Free din siya, guys. So lahat ng share ko free. Yung iba, mas gusto yung Discord. And even yung ClickUp, yung share ko, meron silang chat option. Even Google Chat. So di ba lahat tayo may Gmail? The entire Google Suite actually offers us a lot of tools na baka hindi nyo lang na-explore. Merong Google Chat na libre kasama ng Gmail nyo. More than the tool kasi, and let's say you've decided na mag-Slack kami for communications, or hindi, Messenger talaga. Pag na-decide nyo na yun, may second layer yun, guys. You also need to establish guidelines on how to use that communication platform. Otherwise, yung Slack, nagiging dampa ng task, bagsakan ng task, ng mga follow-up, ng mga quick check-ins. So, ang gulo-gulo na din. So, you wanna segment the task and use it for what it's intended to. So, pag mag-a-assign ka ng task, magde-delegate ka, i-assign mo, may deadline, dun mo sa work management platform. ClickUp man yan, Notion, or Google Sheet. Pag magpa-follow up ka lang, or gusto mong mag-quick check-in, communication siya, mabilisan, need mo ng quick hop, mag-hop kayo sa meeting, sa Slack nyo yung gawin. Huwag mo yung gawin sa ClickUp. Otherwise, ikaw mismo, hindi mo finalo yung purpose ng system. Okay, I hope that's clear. And then last system, I would say, is yun nga, yung lagi namin sinasabi ni Mami N, a way to document the things that you're doing in the business. Kasi one of the reasons why hindi tayo makaskill, kasi nga, di ba, tayo lang may alam, nasa utak natin, and then tinetrain pa natin yung team member, so kakain din ng oras natin. So kaya tayo pagod. Pero kung na-document na sana natin yan, di, meron na silang babasahin, na clear, straightforward, and then, ang gagawin nyo na lang, pwede kayong mag-hop on call to check alignment, na naintindihan mo ba, may tanong ka ba, and then, let them implement, and then, bigyan nyo ng feedback. And then you can even add a video walkthrough, lalo na kung medyo step-by-step at tactical talaga yung task, para hindi lang niya binasa, hindi siya mag-imagine on their own, they actually see kung paano gawin talaga yung task. So this specifically works for tactical tasks, yung mga step-by-step, click this button, go to this step 3, yung mga ganon. And with this one, I would say, yung tatlong to lang, okay na. So kung wala pa kayong, or sanay kayo sa traditional na mga documents, digital transformation na natin. Meaning, ilipat na natin sa digital para maglipat man kayo ng office or knock on wood, di ba? May mangyaring emergency, mawala. At least, you can always access it via the cloud. So, ayun, Mami N, very simple, walang gastos, free tools that they could start right now. And if iniisip nyo, ano ba unahin ko? Ang dami. Kasi hindi ko na-document ako lahat. So, ngayon, nag-training na, dagdag work naman yan this. Okay, one tip there is identify what are the most, like let's say pag umalis ka, let's say mag-travel ka, may biglang business opportunity, what areas in your business yung magbe-break pag wala ka. So you want to document that kasi very business impacting siya. Another is you could check ano yung mga repetitive and recurring tasks. They are often the easiest to document as well. So you could start either way. Start with the business impacting ones or start with the repetitive recurring tasks. Ayun.
Yan, thank you so much. That was very, very powerful, no? Anak, kung na-capture nyo yun, tatlo lang pala ang basic. Tatlo lang, no? Work management systems, communication management systems, at saka documentation systems. Ako, na-guilty talaga ako. Yung sa kami naman, sa work management systems, medyo nag-uumpisa-umpisa na kami sa ClickUp. Medyo nadadapa-dapa pa rin kami sa ClickUp. Pero, nakakatulong na. No, pero ang pinaka-headache na documentation systems yung pangatlo, Miss Daisy. Okay na kami, nag-uumpisa na kaming mag-document, no. Kaya every na ginagawa namin, pag nakukuha na namin yung proseso, napaplansya na, talagang merong naging kultura na namin na nagdo-document kami. Pero yung pinakasakit sa ulo para sa akin is yung communication system. Kasi nandun kami sa Discord, tapos urgent, nandun kami sa Facebook Messenger. Tapos sa Facebook Messenger, dahil dati, 3 lang kami, madali. Dahil 3 lang kami nag-uusap, either tatlong group lang yan, no? Either me with the group, me with the person A, me with the person B. Pero ngayon, dahil 5 na kami, ang gulo-gulo na, no? And merong silang 2 lang nag-uusap na GC, merong 2 nag-uusap doon sa GC, tapos iba-ibang GC. Kaya pagbukas mo ng Messenger, nakakalula. And we will learn how to use. We tried Slack but we were not comfortable with it, but we will explore Google Chat probably para hindi mahalo doon sa dami ng mga nagme-message sa Messenger, no? That is one of the things. Yan. So, yan ba, kasama ba yan sa tinuturo mo, Miss Daisy, itong 3 systems na ito? Kasi sabi
Yes,
mo
po.
another section for education eh. So can you teach on how to do that? And how long will it take us to learn?
Okay. Well, I would say it depends po talaga. That's why we always start with an audit. Kasi nga 'di ba, iba-iba tayo ng how our brains think. Kasi when I observe po, before talagang super lover ako ni ClickUp. Like talagang pag yung client ko, ibang platform, say Notion or Monday, ililipat ko yan sa ClickUp. Kasi ako naman mag-manage, ang depends ako naman po mag-manage client, so let me just, manage this. But then I realized, bakit may resistance pa rin? Bakit di pa rin nagagamit? Ang simple na. Doon ko nalaman na, okay, systems that work for me may not always necessarily work for other people. And isang malaking factor dun is ano ba yung strengths and preferences ng individual and ng team. Like some team members, their brain thinks in checklists, like linear. Ginawa akong Kanban. So kaya pala parang nahilo sila ng mga box, may move. Gusto nila check. So it may be simple, it may be like parang easy to miss, but it does a lot, especially in terms of compliance at talagang nagagamit yung tool for what's it intended to be used. So in terms of how long, it really depends on the person. But assuming na lang everyone just really wants to capture everything, put it in one place para madaling i-manage. If you really, just maybe a lot, hindi to mastery so parang diba? Hindi pa naman mastery, yung parang nagamay-gamay nyo na. I would say 1 to 2 hours. Medyo magkaka-idea na kayo. And then imagine 2 hours in 1 week, you could learn. That's why we always align it kasi on how the team functions ba, how the workflow also goes from one person to another. Kasi minsan kahit ang perfect na nung structure ng system, mali pala yung pagka-setup because of the handover and the decision points, doon nagkakabungi-bungi. So, before you even think about what tool to use, guys, isipin niyo muna, paano ba kami nagpa-function ng team ko? Paano kami mag-usap? Ano yung pinakamadali sa kanilang way? And then let's try to find that platform that can actually capture that and we start building it simply. Ganun po ang atake ko dyan, Mami.
Yeah, so what I'm learning from you, Miss Daisy, is hindi pala dapat na umpisahan namin sa tool na, gusto ko ClickUp, no? Umpisahan pala namin dapat dun sa proseso na. Ano ba yung proseso na namin? Tapos, paano namin siyang i-automate? Tapos, sa bawat na magko-consume, kung ano yung gusto nila, kung gusto ba nila ay checklists, kung gusto ba nila ay Gantt chart or Kanban or kung ano-ano. Yung preferences. And what is nice with ClickUp also, di ba? Meron siyang mga different ways of presenting the tasks, no? So, 2 hours, I guess, para sa amin, ang dami na namin pinagdaanan ng 2 hours, pero wala pa rin kaming hindi pa rin kami maka-move forward. So, probably what we need is hand-holding. Talagang, okay, ito na, nagawa na namin, tingnan mo nga kung ano yung kulang dito. And that is something that you also do for clients like us?
Yes po. It's either we build the platform and the setup itself for the team and the client, or may iba na talagang we also provide training. Kasi hindi naman po porket na build na magagamit na. Team members still need guidance and we also get feedback para, okay, then we could adjust as well. So pwedeng pure build or build plus training.
And how can we be independent of you later on? Kasi kung aasa sa iyo, medyo, syempre, hindi namin alam kung parati kayong available and we're just so small, it's a small business. So how can you empower us so that in the future, we will be able to do it ourselves?
Yeah, I always go back. Pati yung framework ko in what I do, Mami N, inspired ng BTS. So, meron akong BTS framework.
BTS
so, Army Jet. Yeah, my army friends, let's go. But yeah, kasi nga sabi ko kanina, my core is joy. So maybe that's why I get to do what I do because I'm really passionate about it. So for me, happiness is important. Pero to answer your question, yeah, BTS meaning we really begin with reality. So yes, iti-train namin kayo, i-build namin sa inyo. But of course, ang ano nga natin, ang purpose namin is to help businesses become owner independent. So syempre dapat di rin sa akin magre-rely forever. And to do that, I think it comes with a lot of awareness sa side ng business owner. So begin with reality, which means we start with an audit. So talagang as a business owner, you have to have these conversations with yourself about, okay, what is it really that I need? What are the problems that I think this can help? And when do I know? And we could do this together now. Okay, how would we define a successful working relationship together? And when do we know that it's time to move forward independently? That's why you put metrics in place. But we always ground things by acknowledging and assessing our reality, because only when we acknowledge that can we really make an honest audit and assessment of our starting point, can we make better aligned plans that we can sustain later. So B, begin with reality with an audit. So VT, yung T, we thrive with alignment. So yan, i-align na natin kasi alam na natin yung starting point, alam natin saan natin gusto pumunta. So let's align and think strategically sa mga steps and action items that you will put in place para sustainable siya. At may implement niya talaga siya kasi bilangga natin sa starting point sa reality mo, hindi reality ko or nung ibang business member or YouTuber na nakita natin na ang daming views. Ay, baka mag-works. No, we aligned it with your reality. So that's why we could thrive na this time because we've aligned it. So BT, and then S. We simplify to amplify. O, diba? Happy ba kayo? Pasend naman ng purple heart. Pero yung S, yeah, simplify to amplify. So we can only really, expand from there because we start with simple, sustainable systems. So, kaya for me talaga, and hindi madaling mag-simplify ng mga bagay, guys, ha. Actually, if you can simplify a concept, a process, it means you're really good, diba? Kasi sobrang complicated. And again, when it comes to systems, you don't really want something that's too complicated because a complicated one usually is met with resistance from the team. And a complicated system that nobody understands will never be used. So let's start simple, and we do that by, again, auditing a reality, aligning it, so that we could thrive, and then we simplify so that we could expand and amplify. Ayan, that's my framework, Mami N.
Magiging fan na talaga ako ng BTS.
Yes, ako na mag-open ng doors. Welcome to the BTS Army.
Baka ako yung pinakamatandang BTS doon na nagtatatalon-talon. BTS Army member. Okay. So, alright, anak, ang dami na natin pinag-usapan, structure, systems, tapos etong mga ibang mga systems, tapos eto ngayon, no? So, actually, kung family business ang negosyo natin, mas complicated pa. No, lalo na pag walang clear roles and boundaries. Family, meaning to say yung mag-asawa na magkasama sa isang negosyo, magkapatid, yung nanay tsaka anak, no? Even me and my daughter and my sons, we really need clear roles and boundaries. That's why I created the ebook, Creating Clear Roles and Boundaries in Your Family Business. Simpleng guide lang to para maging malinaw ang mga roles ng bawat isa at maging mas maayos at pagtutulungan ang negosyo ng mga family members. So until midnight tonight, for those who are here tonight, $199 lang, special price, no? Bukas babalik na tayo sa regular pricing. So grab your copy, anak. Yan ang aming short advertisement for today. Yan. So let's continue. Secret number 4. And this one is actually very close to the heart of our viewers. Dahil maraming nagsasabi sa akin na nag-struggle sila sa mga staff na pasaway. Hindi sumusunod sa rules. May rules na pero hindi pa sumusunod. Absent all the time, especially after Sunday, pag Monday absent o kaya late, no? O kaya they work hard when the boss is watching. So how do the right systems help owners handle these kind of people problems? Yan.
Wow, very relatable question. And for sure, a lot of our viewers and listeners have experienced that in one way or another. And it's a very real issue, whether startup ka, small company, big one. And I think it's because it's about people. And people are not systems na, ito lang, rigid. People are dynamic beings. So, dito nga sa room, diba, iba tayo ng pinanggalingan, iba tayo ng preferences, ng mga taste sa music. So, ang daming i-manage. And I know we've been talking about systems for a while now. And I want to be honest, systems don't fix character problems. Okay, but what it does is it helps expose them faster. And then later, you'll be removed from the equation entirely. Kasi isipin nyo guys, pag walang clear rules, walang guidelines, walang simple attendance policy, walang metrics, walang consequences, pag wala yung mga guardrails na to, everything suddenly becomes emotional and personal. Diba? Like, sasabihin nung sasabihin nung business owner bigla, ay si ganito may attitude, no? Or si hindi na sumusunod. Ang nangyari, pag sweldo lang masipag. Or may mga ganun tayong thinking. Tapos si team member naman, may supposed na paka-demanding, hindi naman malinaw instruction. Or kung mag-request, wagas. May mga rin talagang from experience, yung mga ganun linyahan sila. So see, it becomes emotional, it becomes dramatic, but systems may not, fix the character, but it does help remove the drama. Kasi kung may structure in place, like as simple as yun nga, anong consequence pag ito hindi mo na-hit? At pag clearly communicated yan. Diba? Bago pa matsugi yung tao, alam niya na yung kapalaran niya. So, kung ayaw matsugi, nagpe-perform yan. Diba? Pag wala rin standards na hindi lang nire-remind yung team, hindi lang sila yung accountable, but pati ikaw as business owner. Diba? Kasi accountability in a business accountability and extreme ownership in a business does not start with the team members. It starts with you, the owner, the founder. So ikaw mismo, hindi mo minomodel, what can you expect from your team members? Diba? So it really starts with us. And I would say having the right systems in place will definitely highlight people in terms of where they're slacking, and will also give you the data in terms of where you can come in to guide them, to train them, to support them as a leader. And that's one good side of it. Another good side of that is it also attracts the right people. Like kung sa simula pa lang, may kasi I also hire for businesses as a fractional COO. So minsan yung mga clients sila taas ng standards. And syempre mag-apply lang dun, unti. Kasi hindi lahat gusto ganun ka-intense. But at least for example, medyo daming pinagdaan ng application process ng mga applicants just for a certain role. May makita akong ganyang post sa Facebook eh. And I understand the plight of some people, but then the fact of the matter is, your business is not for everyone, and that's okay. So kung ikaw, mas gusto mo chill, relax, okay, then you attract people who value that. But if you're someone na talaga you value, structure, you value commitment, then that's great. You'll also attract people who value that. And by having these guardrails, these guidelines, these policies, these consequences in place, it just makes working together not based on vibes alone or emotion, but on actual data. And data doesn't lie. So with that, we could manage better, we could lead better, and we can only really improve on things that we could manage and monitor. So that's how systems come into play. Hindi man mababago basta-basta yung tao, especially, again, people yan, a person yan, dynamic being yan. Pero at least the system can help eliminate team members that are not aligned and attract new ones, or help support and empower those who want to stay but just really need some push and guidance from you.
Yan, I love it. I love what you said, no? So systems and standards are guardrails, okay? They don't fix. Hindi fixing ang kanilang role ng systems and processes and standards. They are to expose. Parang guardrails nga, no? Ikaw nasa loob ka, okay. Ikaw ay nasa labas, kaya talagang wala ka ng pag-asa. So, alam natin kung sino yung dapat na nasa labas, sino yung dapat na nasa loob. Thank you so much for that. That was very helpful as far as I'm concerned. That's something I can borrow and I can use sa aking mga clients. Okay, so, pang-5, ito yung last na talagang itatanong ko na, at after this, we will be going to our Q&A. Kung merong Miss Daisy, kung merong isang role na pwedeng mag-solve ng almost lahat ng sinasabi natin today, okay? A role that can take over the operations, na pwedeng mag-manage ng mga ng team natin, and keep the business running even without me, the owner. Ano kaya tong role na to? And then, what does this person actually do? And first of all, how does a small business owner find or develop someone like this? Itong role na to.
Okay.
Yan, ako, gustong-gusto kong may ganyan.
Yes. Well, yeah, there is a role. And nowadays, this has been popular. And to be honest, a lot of people still don't know about it. Like, they know the problems that this role can potentially solve, but they don't know what it's called. And I would say, ang tawag dun sa role na yun is OBM or Online Business Manager. We also call it Operations Business Manager. And pag medyo higher end na like experience, sila yung magiging napupunta sa COO level. Pero for small businesses, these are really online business managers, especially kung remote and digital team kayo. Siguro para mas mag-ground ko and mas maintindihan, how familiar is everyone with a VA ba? Kasi ako, I started as a VA. So kung gagawa akong analogy, I would say a VA is similar to an office secretary. Diba? Like lahat ng paggawa, they're really great taskmasters. They execute the task. They get it done. Bigyan mo lang ng instruction, clear, bigyan mo feedback. They're great at that. They could do that. But an OBM is the one who owns the execution of the workflows in the business. So parang siya naman yung office manager. Di ba? Like kung nag-corporate kayo, di ba merong team members, may team lead, and then may operations manager. Yun siya. So the OBM functions as someone who is like the second brain of the business owner, also considered at times as the strategic partner kasi naiintindihan nila hindi lang yung individual tasks but the bigger picture. Like, ano ba yung business? Ano yung purpose? Who are we serving? Why do we have these departments? And then they help manage those departments and the people and tasks under it. Kaya kaya na-free up yung business owner kasi dati, diba, pag nagsimula tayo ng business, baby natin, idea natin, but then pag may proof of concept na tayo, like, ay, nag-work, so nagka-customer na tayo, so naging customer support din tayo, fulfillment, and then, tayo rin yung mukha, or tayo yung nagma-market, naghahanap ng mga networking opportunities, so dami natin ginagawa, tayo pa yung HR, pag kailangan natin ng tao, tayo yung mag-hire, so ang daming ginagawa, kaya siya overwhelming kasi tayo lahat. But then, yes, kaya siya sa simula, but then darating yung time na your income will reach its ceiling because you cannot physically, emotionally accept new clients anymore kasi bugbog ka na, punong-puno ka na. Pero paano? Sayang, may growth opportunity. Hindi mo matanggap kasi alam mo hindi ka ready. So doon pumapasok at sila yung mga businesses talaga na kailangan ng OBM because what the OBM does is i-offload niya lahat ng mga responsibilities na to of overseeing the day-to-day execution of a business. Bukunin ni OBM para si client, si business owner, mafi-free up siya. Ang focus na lang niya, setting the vision for the company, ensuring that team member, the entire organization understands where we're headed and why, establishing and reinforcing the culture, and then third, growing the business. Really, going out, finding opportunities for growth, pero yung engine of fulfillment, of delivery, of ensuring na whatever it is na binibenta natin, na fulfill, si OBM ang nagmamanage na execution nun. Now, what I want to be clear here is, OBMs do not do the work. They manage the execution of the work. And the work would be managing the people, yung mga team members, managing the tasks of these people, the workflows in that, ensuring everything is documented, so building the systems, the workflows, the structure, para hindi pahirap ng pahirap. Kasi the more you scale, diba, dadami yan eh. So you wanna start documenting as early as possible. And then also just helping the client strategically and sometimes monitoring finances. So marami siyang aspect, pero I would say the 4 domains are people management, project management, process management, and data management. Yun yung 4. Hindi kailangan lahat, pero lalo kung small business, kaya naman kasi yung ikutan. And kung maybe business owner ka now, na you have a lean team, how do you even find someone like that? Or maybe you want to, internal promotion. So maganda yun kasi diba, usually mga team members na kasama nyo from the beginning, hopefully, kung nag-communicate kayo properly, may idea sila at naintindihan nila kung ano yung negosyo nyo. Kung wala, may gap dyan. Kailangan yung punan yan. So you could either promote someone internally, and I've seen businesses do this, na yung like employee number 1, parang ganun. Yung mga talagang matagal na tenure, sila yung napopromote into this role. However, I would say, dito talaga, the title is less important than the function eh. So yes, hindi porket ikaw yung pioneer, doesn't always mean na ikaw yung right fit. Kasi kailangan din, Mami N, medyo strategic sila mag-isip. And talagang may ownership eh. And may konting business acumen in a sense na they understand the full picture, but at the same time, they can go down and drill into the, nitty-gritty details and see how everything is connected. Para mas spot nila yung gaps, mga opportunities, and then ma-delegate ang maayos, magawa ng process, and then ma-connect para yung engine consistently running kahit wala si business owner. So a very long-winded answer and explanation, but I hope medyo nagka-idea kayo guys, but I'm free for any follow-up questions.
Yeah, it was very clear, Miss Daisy. Thank you very much for that. I'm sure a lot of people would want to have somebody who can take away a lot of their responsibilities to do the execution, the operation of their businesses. Now, my question is, habang ine-explain mo yan, pumasok sa isip ko na let's say meron akong 5 yung nasa team ko, no? Sino yung dapat kong piliin? Puwera sa the eldest one, yung pinakamatagal, no? Kasi sometimes yung pinakamatagal hindi naman talaga siya. Marami akong negosyong hinawakan, yung pinakamatagal, yung unang employee, kung minsan gusto nila, yun lang yung buhay nila, yun lang ang trabaho nila till death do us part. So hindi porke sila yung nauna, sila yung dapat na ma-promote as OBM. Ano yung mga competencies na hinahanap natin para masabi natin na ito ang aking i-groom as OBM?
Oh, yeah, very good question. And I agree, just because you're employee number 1 doesn't mean you're the right fit. So some competencies I strongly advocate for. Number 1, attention to detail. Kasi especially in a business, there's a lot of moving parts, diba? And nung tayo pa lang nag-handle, we know how overwhelming that is. So having a trusted partner help you do that kahit sa simula na parang kahit shared pa nga, already eases a lot of anxiety. I know for sure. So definitely attention to detail. Alongside attention to detail, I would say big picture thinking. Na parang, okay, nakikita natin yung how each step, each workflow is connected, but at the same time, we see the bigger picture. We understand how it impacts the business and why it's even there to begin with. Yung ganong level. And sometimes, kahit wala kang formal training, just constant, calls, communication, and training with the founder, with the business owner, it's a good foundation na. And then pag nakita mo nagigets na kung may capacity, whether financially or may opportunity to train, then let's equip them. Pero kung wala, just really explaining. Kasi ano to guys, internal hire to. So this should be someone who really knows your business as much as you do. So that's the second. So again, attention to detail, big picture thinking. I would say number 3 ko would be effective communication skills. So I didn't say perfect English. I said effective communication skills. And what I mean by that is they're able to clearly communicate tasks, expectations, and give feedback tactfully. Ganon. So hindi maraming salita, just concise, direct to the point, but clear enough na walang space left for na hindi clear. And kung meron man, they could, when you follow up, when you ask follow-up questions, they're able to guide you through that. Na yung way of communication nila, it's not just, hindi mo feel as a team member ka, na inutusan. Like talagang na-empower ka. And I think that ties with my 4th qualification, or at least trait, yung people skills in a way na, people skills / ano ba mas tama? The leadership skills, in a sense na they're able to really influence people. And what they say are really valued by these people because they've impacted them. Kasi hindi lahat ng leaders, alam niyo na, hindi lahat ng leaders effective just because they're too up in their heads. You need a leader who's grounded, diba? Na, kasi they understand your plight, they understand your situation. And when you find a leader like that, you don't feel alone. You feel empowered and they share with you the vision. When you ask something, they support you. So talagang yung team member na-empower na, kagalingan ko to kasi si Mami El, talagang laki ng tiwala niya sa akin eh. So again, you give what you want to receive in return. Diba? Reciprocity ulit. And then number 5, it is my favorite and baka wala to sa Google kasi ako talaga na-experience ko to and na-realize ko kailangan ko to for OBMs. Decisiveness. Decisiveness meaning you really can stand for whatever decision you make and carry the consequences. The reason I say that is because as OBMs and other higher ops position, we are often left to deal with the difficult situations. Like, si employee number 1, hindi na aligned. Fire mo na yan, Days. Ayun po kasi yung friendship namin maapektuhan. Inaanak ko yung So, diba, tayo naiiwan. So, empat ako. So, dun ko talaga na-develop din yan, Mamin. Ay, kailangan decisive ako. Kasi there are moments na I'm very empathetic, but then I fail to realize na, teka, it should be a win-win-win across 3 domains. Dapat win sa business owner and kay client, win sa market na siniserve namin, but at the same time, win sa team members, sa people that's doing the work. There was a time when I was in my early days na masyado akong pro-people. And then na-realize ko doon, pag sobra kong silang parang kinodel na nga, ang ending, kami yung iiwan. So parang sabi ko, parang masyado ako naging soft doon. So in short, Mami N, tumapang ako dahil sa pagiging operations person. So I learned about boundaries, respect, kasi at the end of the day, we're all adults. If it's no longer aligned, communicate it. Wala mang pilitan. So huwag ka nang manira pa kasi one bad apple affects everyone. That's why I always encourage open communication. So that's why my fifth skill talaga is decisiveness. So practicing nyo na guys. And as early as now, our team members, give them the freedom to decide on their own. Pero syempre bago, lalo kung di sanay, matatakot yan kasi kung magagalit si boss, baka mawalan na. So before we delegate something, before we set a new policy, make sure we inform them what the policy is, what the change is, and why. Simple practice na rin yun ng strategic thinking, bigger picture na, ay, kaya pala binago to kasi ganito, and ganito yung effect. So para alam nila, hindi lang basta bagong update, may memo. Wala. Tapos na tayo sa corporate na sobrang rigid, structured, ang daming na hindi naman nasusunod. If you want people to grow with you wanna really be with them and understand their plight, but not too much na you're cuddling them, but with the right structures in place na they can draw the line na, ay, si boss talagang sinusupport ako, pero boss ko yan. Ito yung pinapagawa, gagawin ko yan kasi they trust me and ito yung reason why. So, ganun. So, yun yung top, ulitin ko kasi alam ko iba nag-list. Sana maalala ng mommy brain ko. Yung una, attention to detail. Second, big picture thinking. Third is effective communication. Fourth, leadership skills. And then number 5 is decisiveness or decisive decision making.
Yes, thank you very much for that. No? So, it reminds me of, yung pinakamahirap na ituro para sa akin is yung decisiveness. Kasi meron mga tao na pag kumukuha ako ng tao under them, pag may na-hire kami na tao, parang ayaw na nilang pakawalan. Parang forever na. Sabi ko hindi, habang nandyan pa sila at hindi pa sila regular, talagang aanuhin mo. No? You really challenge them as much as you can. Tapos, pag may nakikita na ako, ay palagi ko ito, hindi ko to gusto. Natibakin na natin to. Ako pa yung sasabihin, hindi, nagtatry naman siya mamiin. Ganun. O, sige, bahala ka dahil taong mo yan. Ngayon, ikaw din ang mahihirapan. Kaya siya yung nagkakandara pa ngayon dahil hindi nagpe-perform yung mga tao na kinakadal. So, yan ang, for us Filipinos, this is very challenging, itong last na decisiveness. The rest are easy, pero yon no?
I would say siguro, to add Mami N with that one, another perspective that helped me really practice decisiveness with my team and clients I work with and their teams is that I view it as parang paying forward. Kasi whatever they learn here and if they step up to that will be a really good skill for them to have for future clients they can serve. So technically I'm training you because I see your potential. And this is, for your future clients in the future, and you'll also be a blessing to future clients you will work with. So pag na-explain ko yun, parang mas nagiging open sila. Kasi for sure, maraming takot, maraming parang nape-pressure, nagkaka-anxiety. So it's also just how we try to paint. I try to paint a picture para makita nila yung vision ko, and then they buy in. And then when they buy in, I put the guardrails. Kasi, ikaw nagsabi niyan, nag-commit ka. So I just put the structures in place. Ayan, Mami.
I will try just that. No, I will try just that kasi medyo sometimes na challenge ako na parang ang tagal-tagal na nitong hindi pa rin nagpe-perform tapos kinakadal pa rin ganon. No, so sige. Sinasabi ko rin hindi ka Diyos kasi kung minsan yung tao na hindi nagpe-perform sa atin, pag pinaalis mo, pagdating sa next employer mag-excel yan. Kaya harapin mo na for a short time, binigay sila sa atin ni Lord na turuan natin. Tapos, after that, iba na yung taong magmo-mold, hindi ba? So, that's how I think. And probably I need to communicate that even more. I'd like to go to our question here. Maria Paz Miguela Hipolito Marin. Have you experienced po na inagaw yung idea and systems ng business? Do you have advice on how I can deal with this fear? Also, how do you know po that you are not delegating way too much than your team members can handle? Sometimes they themselves kasi don't know also what they can handle. I'm afraid na maging resentful ang team members sa ganitong scenario. Yan. Thank you for being so generous with your insights. Miss Daisy.
Yeah, thank you sa question, Miss Mary Paz. Sige, parang 2 tiers, no? Unahin ko po yung una. Have you experienced po na inagaw yung idea and systems ng business? Do you have advice on how I can deal with this fear? Oh, definitely. Yeah. Talagang may hugot ako dyan. How to deal with that fear? I would say realizing that, number one, I try as much as possible to operate from a place of abundance. Pero point 2 ko na yun. Kasi dun tayo sa totoo. Yung una talaga, I was hurt. I felt betrayed. Parang yung ginugol mong oras, panahon, and trust dun sa taong to, tapos ganito lang. But at the end of the day, after I processed everything, I realized that, nobody really owes me anything. Whatever I, learned, acquired, that allowed me to build this business or system, I learned from someone else, and I just, tweak and created my own version based on my own understanding and experience to somehow make it mine. But di ba kami sinasabi sila na nothing is ever original? It's really just inspired, derived work that we tweak and update to make our own based on our own interpretation and experiences. So okay, nobody owes me anything. O, sige, gets. Pero paano yung hurt? Kasi tao to tao eh. Wala ka bang basic human decency, respect? May mga ganun. Kasi very loyal ako as a Taurus. So para talagang yung justice side ko, parang hindi pwede, ganyan. I really had to process that. So if you're asking this, I'm assuming you're sensing something, then I would confrontational na ako. Pero however you wanna address this, pero maybe just have an honest conversation with this person para lang you also understand where they're coming from. And sometimes, what we don't know, but we don't know what we don't know. So I'm the person that I want data, and if whether that will hit me bad or not, sa ako na-process later, but I want to know why, because I want to understand. So with these questions, feeling ko baka naagaw na, gano'n na lang dear talaga. Learn to let go at the end of the day, knowing that God sees everything. As long as your intentions are pure and true, how others may take advantage of that is beyond your control eh. Being a high performer growing up, sanay ako sa, controlling things. Kasi feeling ko, doon ko lang masisiguro yung output. But then when I went into, adulthood, adulting is hard. Doon ko na-realize na, okay, there are just some things na, especially if you're a parent, there's just some things that you need to let go of. You need to choose your battles and know that there's a bigger God that sees everything. And true enough, when I started, of course, again, inaudit ko yan. So, BTS framework pa rin ako. Inaudit ko, bakit ka naiinis? Saan ba talaga nanggagaling yan, Lacey? So, nakuha ko na yung facts, nalaman ko yung facts. Okay, let's ground myself. What really matters here? At the end of the day, kahit kunin nila yan, what's unique about that is you. Iba yung delivery mo, iba yung turo mo, iba yung implementation mo. So, hindi pa rin talaga lahat na nakao. And just shift your perspective. That has helped me get myself unstuck in a lot of really dark places and moments in my life na parang, okay, shift the perspective. Okay, at least they got to use it. Maybe they need it more. Maybe God is also teaching me a lesson. So once I grounded myself with that, mas madaling ma-let go. And true enough, in all the times that I've been betrayed by people I really trusted, God redeemed me. So yun na lang yung pinangahawakan ko. And parang naging pruning season na rin siya na parang, okay, baka inalis talaga ni Lord sa akin itong mga taong to. Kasi dito pala ako dapat. So, in the current moment, mahirap siyang mag-grasp. Pero lagi naman in hindsight, di ba? Pero down the line, you see it, no? And I'm thankful. And I think that's because I chose to just let go, choose my battles, and still believe na there's a reason for all that. Medyo mahaba, no? Sabi ko sa'yo, marami akong hugot dyan eh. Pero I hope help kita doon, Maripas. May gusto mo ba kayo dagdag, Mami Ann, bago ako sa second question niya?
Yes, atat na akong magdagdag dyan. No, tama, sabi mo, I totally agree with you. What is unique is you. No? So, whoever you are today, May 19, 2026, ninakaw man yung kaalaman mo at ginagay at naibigay sa iba o ginawa ng sarili, pero you are continuously learning eh. Not only you, Daisy, but everyone here, no, who's following us, nanonood, nakikinig, we are learning. Kaya yung version na Daisy na May 19, May 19, 2026, pagdating ng May 20, May 25, 2026, ibang version na yon. At hindi nila yun mananakaw na. Kaya the more you learn, the more you become better, and those things really, yun ang ine-embody mo. Kaya I agree with you totally. Yan. Go. Second part.
Thank you, Mami Ann, for your insight. Second part ni Marie, how do you know that you're not delegating way too much than your team members can handle? Sometimes they themselves kasi don't know also what they can handle. I'm afraid na maging resentful ang team members sa ganitong scenario. This is quite easy dear. Systems. Yun yung sagot dyan. Systems meaning, sa corporate parang, if we look at your question, it's all about capacity planning. So, how we do that is by putting systems and data monitoring in place. So, for the longest time, let's say, parang sanay sila na dala-dalawa lang. So, bago ako mag-increase ng load or whatever, I understand what's the team's current capacity. And babalik tayo dun sa 3 systems na sinabi ko kanina. System 1, workflow management system. Kasi dun ko makikita sino yung overloaded, sino yung underutilized, sino yung overutilized. So, data doesn't lie. That's why you need to build that. But bago mo ma-build that, you need to collect data. So baka the reason you're feeling anxious about it is maybe you don't know what's your team's actual capacity and how much each team member's capacity is that they're comfortable with, saan yung good stretch and saan yung over na talaga. So I would suggest you get that data. Once clear na, I would invite the team members on a call, whether individually or as a group, depende sa time mo. And then from there, I always get alignment with them kasi nga T sa BTS ko. I need to align na okay, these are the data I've gathered and what I'm understanding is point 1, 2, 3. Do you agree or do you have another opinion on this one? Let me know. So, hingin ko sa kanila pero may data na ako para I come into the call ready and then pag may iba silang binigay, okay, ma-align ko. Okay. And then we come out of that call aligned na so we could focus on actually setting the metrics in place na ito. So, dapat kung nagagawa ka ng graphics, average mo pala 10 a week, for example. Okay? So, meron tayong naging baseline and then meron tayong good stretch to also challenge them and to improve their productivity and then meron talagang medyo stretch na. So, awareness lang to systems and structure there and communication. So, balik tayo dun sa 3 systems. Ayun, Mary Paz. I hope that helps.
Yeah, I'm sure it was helpful. Balik ako, Miss Daisy, sa unahan ng ating chat, no? Kanina as early as 3 o'clock, si Elle nag-message, sabi niya, okay lang po ba na planning for a small business po ako? I don't know where to start but I'm willing po. So thank you, Ellie, for that, no? For that, meron akong sinulat na libro kasi ang daming nagtatanong sa akin, no? The best thing to do is to really identify ano ba talaga ang business calling mo. That's where you start. Hindi ka basta-basta makikinig sa kung sino-sino na nag-i-invite sa iyo to go into business because each one of us has its own or his own or her own calling sa negosyo. Kaya there's a book and there's a course as well. I would suggest that you start with the book. That book is only 450. It's over TikTok store, no? So that's where you start, El, no? Find out anong negosyo at kung bagay ba talaga yun sa iyo. Hindi ka magta-trial and error, no? So sabi ni Jordan, meron daw silang matagal na employee since they started the business. Nung nag-umpisa, big help talaga, pero habang lumalaki, naglalaging behind skill-wise. Loyalty is indeed there. She's willing to learn, pero we're struggling because this person is academically challenged, so hirap talaga ng pag-adjust sa bagong process. So ayaw namin siyang tanggalin. Ano yung recommendation ninyo?
Oh, and then sabi ni Jen, same. So, maraming nakaka-relate din sa challenge.
Do you have an experience ng ganon? Yes?
Yes po, marami. Like, client-wise. Sabi ko sa inyo, ang favorite part ko as a fractional COO is people ops. And yeah, I'm putting... sorry.
Can I stop you sandali? At kanina ko pa narinig yung fractional COO na yan. Paki-explain naman kung ano yan.
Sorry. So yeah, we're talking about OBM, no? So sila execution masters. So medyo alam niyo na siya. Through experience, with experience and enough understanding of the business, marketing, different departments, parang trajectory of OBMs, papunta pong COO.
Okay.
Chief Operating Officer.
Alright.
Yun po. Pero ako po, fractional, meaning part-time. Kasi nga freedom ang gusto ko para sa concert sa BTS. Joke siya, pero totoo siya, guys. So yun, very intentional ako sa mga offers natin. So fractional siya kasi, I'm not tied to one contract with one client. I had a client before, they renewed me, increase in rate, pero gusto nila exclusive. Hindi po siya aligned. Kasi gusto ko po, I want to work with more businesses, but at the same time, I want to protect the life I want to live, which is homeschooling and, time with my family, travel, especially now ng BTS. Ang public ako dyan. So yun, yung mahalaga sa akin yun eh. That's why, kung gulong-gulo tayo, baka talaga minsan kailangan lang natin yung talagang maging clear sa ano bang gusto natin. And then what I advocate for is really, especially in this day and age, we really can build a career in a way that it actually supports and protects the life we want to live, not the other way around. Kaya very intentional po ako sa fractional. Again, part-time lang siya. Meaning, I can have multiple clients pero as part-time operations person nila. Hindi ako full-time. Very clear lang din yung scope ko, limitations, schedules, and whatnot para manageable pa rin.
Okay,
Yun po siya. And medyo ano na siya, Mami N. Talagang parang partner na ako ang tingin ng like parang sasabihin na lang client yung problema niya, go ahead, proceed with whatever, I trust you, ganun na po. Tapos more on alignment na lang kami for strategic planning kasi alam niya kami nang bahala sa operations.
Alright, great. So sige, sagutin na natin yung question na
Kay Jordan, sige. Sige, so dahil pinag-usapan natin yung fractional CEO, I'm gonna put my COO hat and this is how I'll answer this talaga. It's great that your team member, no? It's great that you understand her situation. So it means talagang you really care about her. And it's great that she's also loyal. But I would say loyalty does not always equate competence. So what that simply means is she's just not the right fit for that role, especially academically challenged, and she may not have the skills, though she's willing to learn. The question there is, do you have the liberty of time to actually wait for her to learn it before your business suffers? Kasi if wala, she's just not the right fit here. I would suggest explore hiring someone else, and what you want to do with her is find a different role for her that fits her skills are. Kasi mahirap makahanap ng loyal na tao. Pero kung hindi talaga siya akma, di ba? Kaya may right people, right seat tayong concept. Kung hindi talaga, wag nating ipilit kasi baka okay ngayon, pero down the line, your business will suffer. So save yourself the headache, but then just find a different role for her. And sometimes, kung kaya naman, we actually build a role for her that would capitalize on her strengths. Loyalty being one, willingness to learn, pero hindi restricted ng timeline kasi yun ang challenge natin. Medyo may timeline constraint tayo. So yun, Jordan, I hope that helps, and you too, Jen. Mami N, you wanna ano?
Yeah, I would be saying the same thing. So you've said it already. So from my friend, my very good friend Dante Cortesa, sabi niya, for small businesses, how do you compensate OBM with good salary and benefits? And to save on this operational expense, most owners are also the OBMs, and sad to note, at nagiging burnout sila. No, ayun ang sabi niya. Tapos may follow up siya, sabi niya, OBM ba ay pang big and growing business only? Tama ba daw siya?
Okay, thank you for your question, Dante. No? OBMs, I would say, are for growing and scaling businesses. And true naman yung sinasabi nyo na simula talaga, de facto OBM ang mga business owners, lalo kung nagsisimula pa lang. So if the business does not have a clear validated offer that brings consistent leads and clients to the business, if the business does not have at least 3 to 4 man lang na team members that would require management, and if the owner is not willing and ready to let go, please do not get an OBM. It's going to be a disservice not just to you, but also to the potential OBM.
Okay, thank you for that. And the last question that we have is from Vernice Bermudez. Sabi niya, if you found a suitable candidate to delegate tasks skill-wise, but you don't trust, versus a candidate na hindi as skilled, yet you trust, but hesitate to shoulder bigger responsibilities due to fear, ano yung better option? Alam natin, ano?
Opo. Double take ko ha, absorb ko dire ha. You found a suitable candidate to delegate task skill-wise, so pasok skills, pero hindi ko siya trust. Okay, versus a candidate na hindi man ganun kagaling, but I trust, pero na-hesitate to shoulder bigger responsibilities. Which is a better option? I would say with this one, it depends on your preference. Kasi, iba-iba nga tayo, but answering it with how I think and how I would clients, I would say skill can always be learned. Character is quite difficult to find. So between the two, I would choose the latter, meaning not as skilled, but I trust, nag-hesitate man, pero may character, may willingness. Doon papasok din yung systems ulit. Kasi para ma-remove na yung emotion out of the hiring process, marami ng ways to automate the skills part na ma-prove na kaya na itong gawin, nagka-result talaga siya dito, madali na yan. So I automate or delegate the validation of skills and experience, And then I interview for character alignment and value add-on sa business ni client. And between the two, yes, may fear siya, but that's a valid fear. Especially if that person has not handled that before, but there's willingness, dun papasok yung coaching mo as a leader. And I think that's something I can work with. So again, depende sa'yo. So kung dalawa, tapos yung iba mas G na G. Sometimes what I do pa nga, so konting tip na to, no? I hire both. I suggest to hire both. Kasi when they see there's competition, they perform more and better because they know na, okay, hindi dependent sa akin tong business na to. So I want to protect and secure my role. So dun papasok ulit yung system structures and guardrails natin. But at the end of the day, I always go for character. Kasi nga, it's rare. Pero yung skills, you could just easily learn it with time and commitment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miss Daisy. Thank you so much for these valuable insights. So, gahol na tayo sa oras. So, do you have any final words for our viewers?
Yes. Well, first off, I want to honor Mommy and her team for really inviting me and allowing me the space to share about what I love, operations, OBM, fractional COO, and BTS. So, salamat. For our listeners, I hope if ever you're in a situation na you feel na parang yung business nyo nagde-depend pa rin sa inyo, don't feel bad. Every business starts that way. I started that way. I'm still learning. We never really stop learning. I'm sure others that we just see from afar na parang ang galing they started somewhere. So, nauna lang sila sa atin. As long as this is really something that you want and you feel passionately about, then just, don't stop when things get hard. Stop when you get what you want. And when it comes to systems and structure, the earlier you do it, the better. The more intentional you are about, how you want your business is implemented in terms of serving other people, in terms of how it's being marketed, the better and easier it is for you down the line because you're actually naturally gonna attract aligned people as well. And sometimes, especially kung medyo may attachment issues tayo or talagang very loyal tayo, hindi mo mawawala yan. Just know na, people come and go in our lives. And if they are meant to stay, they will stay. If they are deciding to move away, it's okay because it probably only means that our season to work together and bless each other has passed, and then we could move on our separate ways gracefully. And just focus on one system at a time, and don't forget yung BTS framework ko whenever you feel overwhelmed. And I hope you could also connect with me. I would love to connect, and if Army kayo, I hope I could see you in the concert, guys.
Maraming salamat ulit, Miss Daisy. It's been an honor to have you here. I learned so much personally. So until then, keep shining and keep being business-minded Pinoy.